You have found Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Past episodes of the Authentic Business Adventures program can be found on the podcast link at drawincustomers.com. We are coming to you from the Sun Prairie Community Radio Studios, underwritten by Bank of Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and helpful coach to small business owners across the country. Today, we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Kayla Storlid and Aubrey, talking about selling products on Amazon, and we're talking about Big Brothers, Big Sisters. So we got some good fun today. You guys excited?
Yeah, yes, baby.
All right. So your day is going well, it sounds like. And Aubrey, you are a little sister, is that right?
Usually I'm a big sister from all of my siblings, but now I am.
With Kayla, you're a little sister. Awesome.
Yeah, you want to hear a funny story?
I do. I don't know who says no to that.
Okay. So this is on topic, and whenever I tell my friends, so my mom's 35, and my big sister is 41.
There's no way your mom wants to listen to this now.
And they were like, wait, what?
Because I'm 41.
Oh,
and then my
gotcha.
mom's 35.
All right.
But she constantly tells me I look like I'm 28.
Sure.
She does. No, I said 29.
Yeah, 29.
Okay, all better now. Oh, I'm hoping to survive in this very small studio. All right, and Kayla, you've been a big sister for quite a few years now, right?
Yep. So I started maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I had a
Wow.
little brother named Komari.
Nice.
And he and I were matched for a couple of years. And then he moved to Tennessee.
Oh, no. Okay. Or maybe good for him. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I miss him. Hey, Komari, if you're listening. I really miss him and his family. But I took about 2 years off from the program. And
Sure.
I was missing it. So in March, they matched me and Aubrey, and it's been an amazing match. We have a ton of fun together. What's
Sure.
your most favorite thing to do, Aubrey?
Probably the one we did on Saturday, like the event, because it was just like a bunch of stuff, and I beat her at basketball.
Oh, nice. Were you slamming the ball?
I know how to do a perfect shot
All
because
right.
they said like how to do how you're a waitress and then you just fling the food.
All right. Nice. Very
Actually,
cool.
I made up that other part.
Very cool. All right. Nice. So.
And I pulled my hamstring, so yeah, she definitely did beat me.
Oh, really? Okay. You're just taking her downtown here. Awesome. And then we're also going to talk about selling products on Amazon, which you, Kayla, you have something going on there, right?
Yes. So I got Card Beanie on Amazon. I think from the time I actually started the process to getting it actually approved for pictures was about 2 months, because with Amazon, if you post your own product, you have to have a pure white background.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about it is like there's not a lot of coaching if you don't have a graphic design.
Sure.
You know, I knew nothing about getting photos on Amazon, so they're like, you need a pure white background and all this stuff. So they kept trying to take all these photos. Finally, then found this app called Clipping Magic, which makes the pure white background. And finally, after 2 months of like hitting my head, I got it on there.
Sure.
So it's been on there since March. I'm starting to increase on sales. I'm starting to get what everyone wants on Amazon, which is like sales from strangers.
Sure.
Which
That's
is
the
amazing.
goal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you sell on Amazon too.
I do. I sell all my books, yeah. Or I have my books for sale. We'll just say that. You sell a few of them. You always want to sell more because they give you a fraction of a penny or so every time you sell one. So I did the math, and a fraction of a penny times a million is still only a few million.
So you're making a couple million.
Yeah, fractions of a penny. Yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. So Card Beanie is the main product, right?
Yes.
And let's start with what is Card Beanie? I know you were on the show before, but just in case someone missed that, just give us the lowdown.
Yep. So Card Beanie is a semi-permanent sticker that easily attaches to any card. And what it does is it becomes a tab in your wallet, so you can grab and tab on the go. You don't have to stick your fingers in your wallet and be digging for your ID or your credit card.
Sure.
A lot of people that have long fingernails, it's almost impossible for them to actually grab their cards.
Sure.
Anyone with mobility limitations, it just is an adapted advice that helps them grab and tab on the go. And they're cute and stylish, and it's kind of like one of those things where until you use it, you don't realize what a huge help it is for you.
Sure. Very cool. I like it.
Thanks.
So how did you come up with this idea?
Well, I had gotten stuck in a parking garage.
Okay.
I was constantly running from one networking event to another, and I'd switch my car or my keys or my wallet or my pants or my coat.
Sure.
And so I ended up in a parking garage with like either an American Express or a Discover card, and you have to call someone to get let out.
Oh yeah.
So,
I just had to do that last time I met you because the card, whatever, it overprinted. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you said you were stuck in. I should
I
have
was.
asked you more. You need a card beanie.
I felt so bad because I'm like, there's no cars behind me, thank goodness. But I'm like, what do I do now?
Well, at least it was the middle of the day. Mine was like at the end of the night where you just really want to go home.
No.
Where you're like, no.
Sure.
So I went home and I punched a hole in all of my credit cards and then hung them on my keychain.
All right.
So then I knew if I had my car keys, I would have my payment device so I wouldn't get trapped again. And it would just keep me from losing things all the time.
Sure.
Nobody really uses the product the way I do. I mean, I love it that way, and a lot of people think it's a great idea, but where it's, when you create a product, you don't know where the traction is going to be.
Right.
And it's really been for use in the wallet, and definitely ladies with nails love it.
Sure.
So right now I'm working on getting counter caddies.
Counter caddy.
So anything that you see as a display at like a gas station or a salon or that's in packaging, those are called counter caddies.
All right. It's like where you see a little 5-hour energy thing or something like that at a convenience store?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to find someone who can design them. Your graphic designer can get the dimensions. It's like they have the measurements that need to fit the packaging once it's developed.
Okay.
And then you have to find people that will actually produce the packaging.
Sure.
And so then they'll come pre-loaded.
Sure.
And then you ship them directly to your retailer, and they can just open them up, and your product's ready to go.
Nice. That sounds all right. So at what point did you decide, hey, I'm going to take this idea of mine, I'm going to create something, and I'm going to sell it to the world? Instead of just, I'm going to solve my own problem, screw the rest of the world.
I was shoveling the driveway.
Okay.
One of those like snowy Wisconsin
Sure.
winter nights
Yeah,
where
we
it
had
was
a couple of those, right?
Yeah, and I had to shovel like 3 times, and I was like, people kept grabbing my credit cards that were punched and saying, this is such a great idea. This is such a great idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to like bring this to market. Like
Sure.
I need to find a way to turn this into an actual product. And it was that moment, where and it's funny how you always remember those moments. Like I was thinking today about, you have to like work through fear, right? So I say, I'm going to do this. But then you're like, how am I going to do this? I have no idea how to do this.
The how
right?
you always figure out as long as you figure out that you're going to, right?
Well, and working through the fear.
Sure.
Right? Because that's what stops most people from being an entrepreneur.
Oh, absolutely.
But I was thinking about that today. Like when I owned my cleaning company, the hardest jump I made was hiring my first employee. And I will never forget the moment where I actually decided I'm going to do this. I was like in bed. I turned the light off, and I was like, we're going to do this. So it's funny how we remember those pivotal moments.
Right. Very
that
true.
Are game changers.
Very true.
Yeah.
So you were shoveling and you just decided, I want to move somewhere warmer, so I got to sell this product, make millions, if not billions of dollars so that I can buy an island? Or what was the relation between shoveling snow and getting the product going?
You know what? That's really funny. I think that was in the back of my mind, that I wanted a business with freedom.
Sure.
Because owning a service company prior, I was very locked into needing to be here if something were to happen.
Right. Yeah.
But when you own a product business with fulfillment by fulfillment by Amazon is FBA.
Sure.
You can send in all of your product to Amazon, and then every time you get an order, then they fulfill the order for you. So you can work remotely anywhere. I don't have to pack up my inventory when I travel to send out orders.
Right. Nice. That's pretty cool. I like it. So finding a way to get away from the snow.
Yes.
Smart. So you figured out, okay, I'm going to make this happen. What was the first step that you would recommend somebody taking if they had an invention in their mind, whatever it is, right? And they wanted to get it on Amazon to sell online. What was the first step you took, and is that the first step that you would recommend somebody else taking?
So I think if you invent anything or if you're first to market, you want to put a little bit of time and effort into thinking about just your strategy, right? Like, so, should I get a patent? Should I not get a patent? Where should I start? Who should I focus on first? So, you have to kind of get those wheels turning and try some things out. And Amazon just made a lot of sense because it's the world's biggest retailer.
It's tough to ignore. That is for sure.
And a lot of people are like, well, why aren't you trying to get into these other stores and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, this is the world's biggest retailer. Right. It's the biggest platform you can be on. So if you can start to master that, hopefully you'll get enough traction where more people are seeing your product, and there's, I don't know how many users are on Amazon, but it's huge.
Most.
Yeah.
A lot of people, right?
Yeah. Everybody's shopping on Amazon now these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend for someone? Would you recommend they get a patent, or would you recommend they skip that until they actually make some sales? Or I guess, what would you tell somebody to do?
It's interesting. And I think what you need to do is make a decision that is best for you, but don't make it out of fear.
Okay.
Make it out of time and research and talking to different people to get different perspectives.
Sure.
So maybe find somebody who has invented a product who has gotten a patent.
Sure.
Find somebody who's invented a product who's not gotten a patent.
Sure.
Talk to a few different patent attorneys to get their advice on what route is best.
Okay. Sure.
And then I think you really need to listen to what makes the most sense, because you can either invest your money in legal fees and patents for some protection, or you can use that time for marketing.
Sure.
So
that's fair.
I think you really need to make the decision that comes down best for you.
Sure.
But my understanding, after talking to a couple people, and I could be wrong, I am not a lawyer, so this is not legal advice. But I was told that a trademark in the end is more valuable than a patent.
Okay. So we're gonna use Aubrey. Aubrey, do you have some invention that you were thinking of? Anything? Flying skateboard, super cat food? I don't know. No. Let's just invent something right now.
Okay.
Let's say that we are going to package glitter, and it is going to be in the shape of unicorn heads, and we are going to call it
glitter heads.
Glitter heads. Okay. So we are going to invent this, and Kayla is going to help us bring this glitter heads product to market. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. So we're going to make magic happen here for the audience. You guys can gather along, and hopefully nobody steals this idea, right, of glitter heads. If we see it on the market before we get a chance to finish it, that was our fault.
I'll buy it.
Right? We have one customer. All right. So we're going to make some glitter heads. So step one, we decide. Aubrey says, we're going to make this happen. This is going to happen.
Yes.
And now she's going to say, how do I make it happen? So step one is you're going to say, is this worth going down the patent road? So Kayla, do you think we should say yes to that, or should we skip that because it's just glitter in the shape of unicorn heads?
I thought it was not exactly glitter, because we should make a patent of glitter, but because no one wants to buy glitter. But of course they do, but it would all fall out. So we would make it with hot glue, or it would be like a fabric and with stuffing of a unicorn head.
All right, I was picturing some unicorn head shaped glitter in a pouch. Would that work?
Yeah, because then yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go on the assumption that people will buy anything with a unicorn on it, just as they will buy anything with watermelon on it. Those are the two things that if you slap it on any product, they will buy. I'm under the impression not everyone will buy them, but someone will buy that.
I only buy rainbows.
Okay. You got rainbow unicorn on your shirt right now.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we're going to say that's where I got the idea, right? So we got unicorn head shaped glitter in a little package. So we got to figure out, is this worth throwing a patent on? And I would guess no, because your sales price is going to be just a few bucks, right?
I would think not. I would think you probably couldn't get a patent on it,
okay,
right? Because there's nothing new about glitter,
okay,
right? And then there's nothing new about the shape of a unicorn head.
Sure.
So I'm I'm going to hit the no button.
No button. Awesome.
Button.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what a patent is?
No.
Awesome. Okay, well, there's probably some other listeners that don't either. So, Kayla, you can tell us, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
a patent is a legal protection that protects your idea from other people stealing it. So, for instance, when the person invented light bulbs, he applied for the patent so other people couldn't just make light bulbs right away. Like, that was his invention, his idea. So it gave him some time and protection so he could make money first.
It's to help people innovate so that they can make money on that innovation, but it is not forever. How long is it?
I don't even know. That's a good question. I know that you have to, with different types of patents, reapply, just like with a trademark.
Sure. I always mix up copyrights and trademarks and stuff like that because I think copyright is lifetime plus 70 years or 72 years or something like that.
Like, if it's that on YouTube, you just get demonetized.
Yeah, YouTube will be paying attention to that. Sure.
It, like, you get, like, money.
Sure.
But you, like, don't get a sentence of jail. You just get a whole lot of money.
You
have to pay YouTube. You have to pay YouTube.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, YouTube does not give money just freely.
Oh, no. You can... It depends how many, like, likes and subscribes you get.
Sure.
But...
We'll call that a rabbit hole, and we will visit that rabbit hole on another show. Is that fair?
Yes, we will.
All right. Awesome. So, patent, we're going to skip to patent because it's just glitter in unicorn heads, right? So we can sell it, but it's also, are people really going to be stealing this idea? Not something we want to worry about. Where if we were inventing, let's say, a flying skateboard or something like that, right? Now we're talking a higher price point, and we're talking about something that if
$79.09.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, I'm guessing that one's going to be
$160.99.
It's safe to say we're going to have to charge a lot of money for that flying skateboard because
$10 million.
We're getting closer because we're going to have some liability issues, right, with people falling off their flying skateboards. Luckily, with unicorn-shaped glitter, right, there's not a whole lot of liability issues that we have, right? People know how to use glitter, or there's an assumption that they know how to use glitter.
Sometimes I get glitter in my hair.
I don't doubt that. So, we're going along. We're going to skip the patent thing. What's the next step? We have to get a product, I imagine, right?
Yeah, so before the product was even came to life, we had an idea what the product was going to be, so we had sketches based on what we thought the final product would look like. Yeah,
were these back of the napkin things, or were these somebody formal?
They were actual, how would I explain it? A design firm actually came up with them.
Okay.
So however they do the measurements and all that stuff. So, and there's wording that they have to put in there to make it more broad or more exact. So we chose to do more broad wording until then what happens is that it gets to the examiner's desk. And then once that happens, you have to respond to them because they'll say, like, we agree with this part of the patent and we disagree with that.
You're talking patent examiner.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And then that's when you can narrow it down a little bit. And by that time, I had a real product.
Okay.
So by the time we applied to the time we actually got to her desk, the product was complete.
Oh, nice.
So that was perfect timing.
Sure.
We were able to narrow it down. And so now it has passed her desk, and then in the very end, you pay an application fee, and then you're pretty much done.
Gotcha. So, going back to the product itself, when you had it designed, did you know what kind of material it was going to be made out of, or the shape, the size, the adhesive? I imagine all that stuff took some time to figure out, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we started, no idea.
Okay.
I had partners at the time, so one had an engineering background and one had a product background.
Okay.
So the partner that had the engineering background was able to find a design firm that helped us start generating ideas. So like our first prototype was at a way too expensive price point. It was actually made out of metal.
Oh, wow.
And, I just took one look at it and I was like, this isn't right. This is too fancy. I'm seeing a product that's really simple and that can really be sold to the masses and not price anybody out.
Sure.
So, at that point I was like, it needs to be like a tap. And so the design firm right there in front of us sketched us an idea with this adhesive. And then we found a manufacturer that could produce it. And
nice.
It was history.
So, Let's talk about the manufacturer, because that's sometimes where I get hung up on.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, you just call up a manufacturer and say, hey, I got this invention. Will you make it for me? Or I imagine there's a process of some kind, right?
So I did not get super involved in the manufacturing part.
Mm-hmm.
I was still with the partners at that time. And since I, partnered with an engineer
Sure.
/ manufacturer, I was like, your job, not my job.
You're taking care of that.
Because
Okay.
I'm kind of like you. I didn't know a ton about it.
Sure.
But I can say that it was brilliant
Mm-hmm.
in who they picked because they had the right equipment.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so there's choices with, now I understand a little bit more that I bought the company and that I've talked to some other people, and I'm still not an expert on manufacturing at all.
Sure.
But it really depends on when choosing a manufacturer, if they already have equipment that is very similar to what you're trying to make.
Sure.
Or if they have to build the equipment.
Okay.
So I did talk to a couple of friends who are manufacturing to build something that would produce what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
They estimated that it would cost 60 plus grand.
Okay.
I did not have that experience. You pay a tooling fee.
Okay.
That is a fee just so you can, basically cut out your design.
Sure, the die stamp, whatever. Sure.
Exactly. And I've seen those in person, and I thought that it was something really fancy. It's like these little pegs on a board.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Just tells the machine where to go. That is not what I thought that was. And so it really makes me question how much they charge you to set one of those things up.
That machine's a lot of money, and it's got to be paid for somehow, right?
Yeah, because the board
Yeah.
to set up the tool
Yeah.
is not expensive.
Right. Right.
And one thing I learned too is that if your manufacturer creates the tool, you have the right to take that with you.
Oh, nice.
Or you
Okay.
should definitely demand that too in the beginning of the contract, just so you can take it with you and use it at another place if so be.
So you don't have to have the new manufacturer
Do a new
retool or
tooling
whatever.
fee,
Okay, sure.
right? Yeah. So if you can find somebody making something very similar to what you created,
Sure.
that's probably your golden goose egg.
Okay, gotcha. So let's say Aubrey and I, we have our glitter. We have our unicorn-shaped glitter that we paid somebody to die cut the glitter, the sheets of glitter, all that stuff. We got a nice pouch.
I know what story, because I would ask Target, because lots of people go to Target, and Walmart. No offense, Walmart, but they only go there for food, like me. Anyways,
Are you sure?
I don't buy clothes there.
I think Walmart's doing okay.
Okay, yeah, Walmart is famous for food, and their
I think they're the
chicken
Fortune,
popcorn is amazing.
They've
but
been number one in the Fortune 500 for 7 out of the 8 years.
I would do it to Target because they have more aisles, because at Walmart there's only a baby, boy, and then girl.
Okay, so hold on a second here.
Oh wait, and
So
Hold on a
this is
second.
good. This is shopping preference.
So Kayla, you're selling stuff. Is it exclusive on Amazon, or Amazon and you essentially, or is it on other? Is it available other places?
So it's on Etsy, Amazon, eBay, www.cardbeanie.com,
Gotcha.
Facebook,
Okay.
a bunch of places.
Gotcha. Okay. So from I want to say retail store, but not in the brick and mortar sense, so to speak. So is it Amazon only there, or is it also available, the Walmart.coms or?
No, not yet. So my first round with the counter caddies will be the nail salons. And
Gotcha.
then if we can start getting the retail going in the nail salons, because when you create your product, you have to figure out whose bell is being rung
Sure.
by it, right?
Sure.
Who's really, really excited about this product.
Yeah.
So I spent a couple days just dropping off samples to all different kinds of places.
Sure.
I stopped at the food fight restaurant. I
Okay.
stopped at a couple realtor offices. I stopped at some banks. Banks
Sure.
get pretty excited about it too, because a tapped card can generate more revenue
Sure.
for deposits for
Right.
the bank. But the bell that was rang was definitely the nail salon. So
Okay.
when I went in and did my pitch, everyone has their head down, they're getting their nails done, and I say what I have created and that it saves their nails and extends the life of their manicure. Every single person's head popped up and I had
Sure.
full attention. So that's where I was like, okay, this is where we launch. This is where we'll get our traction. And these ladies will buy them and they'll show people that
Sure.
they love them.
Sure.
And it'll help benefit the nail salon because then they will see that it's helping their customers.
Right.
If they put their logo on it, then hopefully they generate more bookings, which is then more profits
Sure.
and revenues. So that's where I'm starting.
So is this hitting up franchise nail places so you can cover more people faster, or are you going one by one throwing these boxes in there?
So the box is not done yet. Right
Okay,
now,
but when it gets done.
yeah. So I mean, I'm checking out nail salons associations. I'm
Okay.
connecting with nail salon owners to try and fast track and learn the industry because
Sure.
right, like whenever you find your the bell that you rang, then you need to go learn the industry.
Sure.
How do they find new products?
Right.
How do you find the owner of the franchise of the world's largest nail franchise?
Sure. Sure.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying
Okay.
to learn the industry.
Gotcha. So, Aubrey raises an interesting point. Is it as easy as just knocking on the door of the Target or Walmart or?
No, because
Any-
I would check their .com and see if they had like a thing, and I would talk to their manager or something like that, and then I would see where they where they get their shipping, like where you actually make a thing and it gets in stores.
Sure, but you couldn't just walk into the local Target and
No,
say,
no.
"Hey, I got super awesome product. You
Now
want
I'm
to throw it
just
on your
gonna
shelf?"
put it here, and you're gonna buy it for
Sure.
$16 million.
And why don't they accept that?
Because I don't think they would do it from strangers first.
Why not?
Because, like, they would think that they would be trying to do something mischievous and, like, trying to take it over and call it
Come
Walgart.
on, I'm just an honest guy, just a squirrel trying to get a nut, right? So I just want you to put my unicorn-shaped glitter on your shelf. Is that big of a deal?
yes, because
Tell me why.
it has, like, a little logo and it says Target. Yours would say la 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 la.
Sure. But they want to know, they probably want to know that, that I can fulfill an order, right? So if, let's just say big box store instead of using a specific name, because we don't know the purchasing path or steps that you have to take for each individual place, right? So let's just say big box purchaser. You probably have to go to them and say, hey, I got this product. And they say, one, it's worth putting in our store, it fits our model, or two, it does not. And if they say it does fit your model, then they have to say, great, we got to make sure that it can actually sell. So they probably put it in a few stores. But they also have to make sure that you can actually fulfill it. So if those stores sell out and they're like, holy cow, this is selling like hotcakes, we need 5 billion pallets of unicorn-shaped glitter that you can
And
actually
then
deliver.
we would make it into merch.
But
Well,
I think
would.
it is merch. But what they have to make sure that you can actually fulfill the order, right? So there has to be some due diligence on their side. As well, we have to figure out a price point. What do we want to make on each packet, or what do we need to make, right?
Like, if it's too expensive, no one's gonna buy it. But if it's in clearance, everybody's like, yay, it's cheap.
We totally need
So
unicorn-shaped
it wouldn't
glitter in
be
our
like
life.
cheap, like $1, but it wouldn't be expensive, like to my mom, $7 that it is expensive. So
Sure.
I think it would be like around $6 to $5.
But what are you basing that on?
Because like people think it's too high, like my mom, and people think it's too low. It's probably gonna be crappy.
What if we're talking a 55-gallon drum of unicorn-shaped glitter for $7?
No, because like the best it gets, the more it's gonna go. So the more money we get.
Do you understand what a 55-gallon drum is? We're talking a ton of glitter, like more glitter than you will ever spill on your carpet in your life, which is probably a lot as it is.
What if my carpet was made out of that glitter?
If it's a 55-gallon drum, you certainly have that option. So I guess what I'm saying is we'd have to figure out a price point, and the big box store would
I
have to
already
figure out
have
a
an
price
idea.
point.
It would be $160.
All right. And then we have to figure out how much it's going to cost us to produce and ship that, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So we have some stuff to figure out here. Okay. So we got our product, we got the manufacturer. How did you figure out packaging? Like, you have the product itself, but it's not just tabs in an envelope, right? How did you figure out how you're going to deliver them?
So that's been an interesting process. So I started out just with an insert because my product comes just in a tiny little poly bag.
Okay.
So I am a certified tree hugger.
Okay.
I really
nice.
care
Got
about,
the stamp.
I do. Like I really do. So I really care about the environment. So that's something I really wanted to think about. Like how do I put the least amount of packaging but get my message across? And that's been the most fascinating part of this process, because when you invent something, nobody knows what it is, and they don't understand based on looking at a shape what you've created.
So it's an educational aspect then.
Yeah, it's super educational. So it started off being just an image of a credit card with a card beanie on it and a little billboard that said a card holder that helps you grab and tab your card on the go.
Sure.
And then I was getting a lot of feedback from people like, you need to show this in use. You need to have the hand in there pulling the card out. So version 2, now I have in use.
Okay.
And it's still all in just a little poly bag. But I had a meeting on Friday with a good friend of mine named Katie.
Okay.
Katie Brown, if anybody needs some packaging help.
Sure.
And she had actually created the most genius little packaging idea where... if you've ever seen how sometimes cards go in these little tiny sleeves, and the card perfectly fits in a sleeve. So she stuck the card beanie on the top of the card in the sleeve, and then when you pull the card out, it has 3 card beanies attached to it.
Sure.
So this sleeve in the counter caddy has these little sleeves with the card beanie on top. And the brilliant part about it is now it becomes interactive. So people can grab the packaging out of the caddy and play with it.
Sure.
And then they can see there's 3 more in there.
All right.
And then they really understand how it works.
Sure.
Because now you have the tab sticking out of the sleeve.
Right.
Which used to be more difficult. And
Sure.
it was brilliant. And then the sleeve itself can be a wallet, look like a wallet.
Okay.
And then on the back of it can be the instructions on how to attach it.
Sure. So the poly bag or the sleeve, is that going through the same manufacturer as the product itself? Or is that a different manufacturer and you have to combine them?
Right now, I'm actually what you would be called the co-packer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, just starting out, you got a shoestring, right?
Well,
that's how it works.
You have to play with it too, and you really need to see what it looks like, right?
Sure.
So once it gets bigger, then what you do is you either hire a co-packer or you get your manufacturer to see if they'll package them for you.
Sure.
But with it being so new, I need to be able to just keep changing things. So
Gotcha. Just keep pivoting until it works, essentially, right?
Right, and then meeting with brilliant people like Katie that had a genius idea on how to package it. She sat down with me and she's like, I really want people to be able to understand what this is, and that's the problem with your packaging right now, is that it doesn't show people its use. And I was like, you are brilliant.
Right.
So there's smart people out there that can help you with that.
Very cool. All right. So you got the packaging, you got the product itself, and you decide, hey, I'm going on the Amazon machine. What's the first step there?
So you have to set up your seller account, and then you need to start inputting your data, which that part really wasn't hard. It wasn't until I got to the images that things got pretty difficult.
Sure.
Just because I didn't know better. I didn't, they kept telling me to take a picture on a white background.
Right.
So I'm thinking, let's get poster board. And
Sure.
I had no idea,
Right.
Until then finally someone just magically showed up and helped me. Thank God. So then you have to do that, and then you have to get it approved. And so you usually get error messages like the image doesn't have a good enough resolution or it doesn't have a pure enough background.
Okay.
So you have to get through that part of the process. I still get warning messages to this day about images.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This morning I had to fix when I have 3 different... so you can get a 3-pack, a 5-pack, or a 10-pack. And the 3-pack got they call it suppressed.
Okay.
So it actually gets removed from Amazon until you fix it for the same image that is on the other 2 packages.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no rhyme or reason,
Sure.
right? But you just have to log on there every day and check it. And then once you get through that, then you need to try and earn a buy box.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my understanding is to earn a buy box, you need a certain number of reviews.
Okay.
And you need some sales.
Okay.
So then you get into like trying to reach out to people that you know and
Sure.
just let them know the product is there, social
Right.
media, whatever platform works for you
Mm-hmm.
to start getting the brand awareness out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then wait for orders to come in and then really ask for reviews.
Sure. Yeah, I can tell you from the book sales and stuff like that, getting reviews has been the biggest challenge. Because it doesn't matter how many times you ask people. I feel like I was annoying people, but I was told by other authors you have to annoy people.
Yeah.
Because if you upset someone in a business, they will be more than happy to leave a negative review.
That's true.
But if you do a good job, they don't want to take the 5 seconds to leave a review because they're so busy. Right?
It is. I think it's the busy thing, right?
Mhm.
So, just gently reminding them,
Yeah.
because I think they want to do it. They just get distracted by other things.
Yeah. Whatever.
So just
Yeah.
gently.
I remember reaching out to people being like, hey, a year ago you got my book. A lot of times I gave them a copy, if not multiple copies, and they still haven't left a review. And I'm like, I didn't give this out of charity or because I wanted you to have one more thing on your mantle to collect dust. This
Right.
was really so that you would check it out and leave a review. That was the goal.
Right.
And you agreed to it at the time. Like, I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but just leave a review.
This is not, this might be overstepping some of what Amazon would say is not the greatest way to be, getting your reviews. But I found if you have a friend that also sells on Amazon and you buy their product and you leave them an honest review,
Right.
they are more likely to
Sure.
leave you a review.
Sure.
So that's one strategy that works.
That's
too,
fair.
right?
That's fair.
It's like, I'll try your product, you try my product.
Right. I always wonder maybe you can answer this. When you first get your product out there, it has no reviews because it's brand new. Now you have to build up. What is a decent number to aim for?
I got my buy box, I think, once I had like 3 reviews.
Okay.
I think Amazon has an early reviewer program now,
Okay.
so they'll actually help you get reviews.
Oh, very cool.
So I'm guessing that they advertise your product for you.
Sure.
To try and get I call them the stranger
Sure.
sales, right? And then you'll get some reviews that way. But it's not that hard. Just
Sure.
start asking people.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you got to do the hard work and get it out on social media and all that stuff. But then once somebody buys it, I try to follow up weekly asking for that review.
Sure. So let's say we got this thing, we got a few reviews, it's out there on Amazon, and I imagine let me back up a step. To sign up for the Amazon account, it's pretty much just name, address, phone number, I'm a real person stuff. Like there's no magical.
Yeah, there was, now that you remind me or are asking me about it, you need some documentation. So when I was uploading either my passport or, you need your banking information.
Okay, so that they can pay you.
Right.
Sure.
Well, no, just so they can actually prove your identity.
Oh, sure.
So there
okay.
is a step of like identity proof.
Okay.
That kept glitching me out too, but I finally got it figured out.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay. So fairly easy to set up the account. We'll call it fairly easy. And then once you have the account, putting the product up, is it pretty much title of the product, description of the product, and pictures? And you have to navigate that, I imagine.
Yes, you need to figure out your keywords.
Okay.
So the way Amazon works is that the body of your description, where you're seeing everyone's bullet points and like what it's useful for, is really important for the SEO of Amazon.
Sure.
And so is the title.
Okay.
So you really need to think about putting in there, like if you want to target nail salons, then you need to put in different things about nails and manicure and, all this stuff. And I wanted to also let people know that have, where they could use a helping hand with mobility. So adaptive.
Sure.
MS
Okay.
or arthritis
Sure.
or Parkinson's, that it was helpful for that because those keywords will then get picked up. And when people type in like arthritis glove or, nail polish,
Sure.
your hope is that some of that SEO
Yeah.
will then start to pick up on the other things they're purchasing.
So can you add multiple of the same product just with different descriptions to target a different audience?
I'm guessing you probably could. The way mine's set up is I have like a parent and children.
Okay.
I haven't quite figured that out. That's a great question. I'm sure you could go on YouTube and
Okay.
actually type that strategy in.
Sure.
And there would probably be a bunch of answers on that, but that's a great
Okay.
strategy actually.
Sure.
Because then you could see what works. But I think what most people do is they keep their listing and their title pretty much the same. Then they launch advertising campaigns.
Let's talk about that. Sure. Marketing.
Yep. So there's like programs like Merchant Words where you
Okay.
can go and type in keywords. So if you wanted to see how many people are Googling Sally Hansen nail
Sure.
polish colors, you type that in, but it'll tell you some people type in Sally Hansen or let's say Revlon color stay.
Sure.
But it'll show you how many people are typing those in. So maybe there's 1 million people typing in Sally Hansen's.
Sure.
And maybe there's only 5,000 people putting in manicure versus nail polish, or maybe they're putting in gel instead of nail color.
Sure.
So then that's where you need to start figuring out what are people searching for.
Sure.
Then you create an advertising campaign based on those keywords. You set your bid amount, and then every time someone types in Sally Hansen, your hope is that you become the first sponsored ad on the page.
Gotcha. Okay. So in that way you're targeting the nail people specifically because if they're shopping for nail polish, chances are they care about their nails.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. When you are placing your ads, since you have 3 products, you said, right? Just the count, the 3, 5, and 10, is that right?
Right.
Okay. Which one do you send people to, or do you experiment with that just to see which one ends up with people buying?
I, for now, have been putting in all 3 at the same time because then it gives them the different buy options. But that's a good question, too. You probably could just do one at a time. Like the one that's selling the most for me, which was shocking. Like selling a product is such a learning process.
Sure.
I thought the 3-packs would be the most popular sale for sure. Because I was like, who needs 10 card beanies?
Right.
Everybody buys 10.
Do they share them with their friends or something like
I don't
that?
know
Or
what
they
they
imagine
do.
that they're
I don't know.
getting rid of cards routinely, so they just want this extra pack?
I'm not sure.
Sure.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean? But so we'll find out as we go, and I should start asking that question on some of my
Right.
friends who bought the 10-packs. But
Sure.
like, never in a million years did I think the 10-pack would. I almost didn't even offer 10 because I was like, that's too many.
Sure.
I was wrong.
Right.
I was very wrong.
Now you have to offer a 20-pack or
I
something
should.
like that.
Like 150
Sure.
card beanies.
Everything you need and more. That is awesome. So you've been doing this for how long? How long has card beading been actually out on the market?
So it soft launched about a year ago, but then we shut down immediately because we figured out like one of us was going to buy out the company, and I ended up being the one to buy out. So then it kind of shut down from June until November. And
Okay.
in November, I got the final paperwork signed that the company and everything belonged to me, and all of the product had already been manufactured.
Sure.
So it arrived at my house. And then I spent from like November to January just thinking like magically a product would sell itself.
Oh,
I don't know where I got that from,
nah.
but it doesn't work.
It's
So
a common entrepreneur hurdle, right?
I know, right?
The phone's not ringing. I have to go out and sell.
I was like very much underestimated the amount of work I needed to do
Sure.
to bring an invention to market.
Right.
So I resisted it until about January. January, I started getting just the Amazon stuff up, thinking
Sure.
like, okay, this will be it. And
Right.
I got the eBay and the Etsy and the Pinterest and the Facebook and all
Sure.
the social media set up. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is what's going to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was wrong again.
Huh.
Like, you need to be out pitching your product.
Right.
You need to be posting
Mm-hmm.
videos and photos and, you know, taking new product pictures and doing product development.
Sure.
And constantly be working on the brand
Mm-hmm.
harder than you would with any other product because nobody knows what it is.
Right.
So about, I would say from like March until just about 2 weeks ago, I was still kind of doing it part-time.
Okay.
Still thinking like, hey, this is going to go huge
Sure.
and take off. And it is starting to really take off.
Mm-hmm.
But I made the decision that I was going to stop any of the other things that I was doing and give it 100%
Sure.
attention.
Super focused.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
now I'm at that point where I'm really, really focused and it feels good. I feel less divided on time and I feel like every hour I put in it is generating more output and we're getting
Sure.
more views and I've actually now turned into the card beanie girl.
Okay.
When people see me, oh my God, you're that girl on social media that I see all over the
Funny.
place.
That's awesome.
But it's like I'm putting the time in. So
Right.
yeah, it's been an interesting process to
Sure.
go from like what your expectations are to reality
Sure.
and then to action, like doing the hard work it takes
Right.
to get it going.
Nice. Now, I want to talk to you about pricing and how you discovered a price point, because you like there's nothing really to compare it to, right? So you had to figure out, hey, this costs us whatever to make, and we have to, I imagine, Amazon or whoever you're selling it, whatever medium, right? Whether it's Etsy or eBay, they take a certain nut.
Right.
So, how did you come to your price point, and has it changed at all? You don't necessarily have to talk about specific numbers,
Yeah.
but just walk us through that journey.
I think this is a great topic. You know, I had no idea what people would want to pay for them. You know, I just kind of had this like, when I was with the partners, we all decided that we thought 3 for $8
Sure.
was a good idea and 5 for $10. And we hadn't talked about 10 packs yet. But as the three of us just kind of, you know, stuck our thumb out into the wind and we all said, yes, that sounds about right. So that's where I've been at. And I think that's doing really well. I've lowered the price a little bit and raised the price a little bit.
Okay.
And it's not that much about price.
Sure.
Is what I'm discovering more and more. It's whether they want it or not. And I
Right.
was very surprised that people would pay the $15.99 for a 10-pack.
Sure. Okay.
Because I didn't think anyone is. So you just have to pay attention and see what's, you know, and when I started out, I was doing vendor shows and I still do vendor shows where then I ask people, like, do you think this is a fair price? You know, do you think it should be higher or lower? And
Sure.
most people were like, yeah, you know, that seems like a great price.
Right.
So I'm kind of sticking with it because
Sure.
it seems fair and people seem to agree that it works. So, yeah, but I have gone up $1 and down $1 and it didn't seem to.
Sure.
But for me, you know, I know so many businesses teach like, oh, it's all the bottom line. You got to make as much profit as you can. I just don't believe in that business model.
Okay.
Many people teach that, but I think fairness and honesty is what wins in the end.
Sure.
Because like I went into a phone store today
Okay.
and I had researched all morning about the Google Pixel
Sure.
3, right?
Okay.
Because we want to shoot really nice live videos.
Sure.
And I already knew what I wanted. And then when I got there, you know, the guy doesn't tell me that they don't have the phone in stock, but he's like, let me see if I can get you a really good price on this, like LG, let me see like what offers we got. And I
Sure.
was like, no, I don't want you to look for another phone. This is the phone I want.
Right.
But it's a really good deal. And I was like, no, that's like,
You're
this
not
is
listening.
the phone I want, you know? And then he was like trying to sell me a bundle
Sure.
that would like come with a charger or a case that wasn't my style.
Right.
But it's a really good deal, you know? Like,
Sure.
I will never go back to that store
Oh, gotcha.
because
Okay.
it wasn't honest
Right.
or fair.
Right.
You know, so I don't care what your product or service is. I think being honest, fair, and having integrity is what
Sure.
is going to get you the sale in the long term
Sure.
instead of the short term.
Sure. That's fair. I can tell you that I preach to most of my clients to raise their prices because I want them to make the most profit, at least as much as possible. But usually that's because they are struggling at such an enormous level that they have to think. They have to think in a different mindset.
Well, there's nothing wrong with raising your price. If so with the cleaning company, we made a huge jump from $35 an hour to $40.
Okay.
And there was hardly anyone in the Madison area charging $40 per hour.
Sure.
But we knew we provided really good service. we had super high demand, and we were getting ready to need to go on a wait list. So
Sure.
what do? You either raise your prices,
You got to shorten that wait
lower
list.
the
Yeah.
demand, you
Yeah.
know, and we were worth it. You know, we didn't miss appointments. We didn't lie to our customers. You know, when things went wrong, we told them honestly what went wrong. When we
Sure.
missed appointments, we gave them their money back.
Sure.
You know, so I think there's no problem in raising a price if you can stand behind your product or your service and
Sure.
say, I am good and I am worth it, and
Right.
we have this demand and we can't meet it, so we have to find a way. Because people actually get really angry when you're too busy to take them on.
Yes.
But they don't get angry at you if you're too expensive.
Very true.
They just
very
go
true.
find somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's extremely true. I like it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we don't have a ton of time left here. Aubrey, do you want to tell us just really quickly your experience with Kayla while she's doing this card beanie thing? Have you just kind of been watching this from the sidelines? Has it been interesting?
A little.
A little. How old are you?
I'm 10.
Okay, so I know this is probably way too early to ask this question, but I imagine you know that eventually you'll become 20, 30 years old.
I hope by then I'm out of college.
Let's just say you're out of college. How do you want to make money when you get out of college?
Well, I want to be a veterinarian when I grow up. I already know the college I want to go to, and
Oh,
I
wow.
know what scores I need to go to, so I'm going to work really hard for that.
Okay.
And then when I'm out of college, I was thinking moving to Texas, but then I really thought about it, and most of my family is in Illinois, but I would just stay in Wisconsin because I can.
Because you can. There's animals here.
Yeah, and I already know, like, I would want to work at a pet store, and I already pet sit some of my mom's friends' pet, so I think, like, if they would be like, have you had experience with this before, I could be, like, really prepared.
Sure. Awesome. Would you ever consider inventing a product like glitter cutout? I'm sorry, not glitter cutout. Unicorn head cutout glitter? No. Does it seem like a lot of work?
No, I just wouldn't do it because I would enjoy the life I had.
Okay. All right.
My opinion.
Fair. The truth be told, right?
Yeah,
But
she knows what she likes.
I do, if I, like, I'm still thinking about it, I would make, collars that would, like, tell you when, like, the dog's in pain, or, like, it would tell you what mood your dog's bark would be.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a great
Oh, that
Or,
is
invention.
like,
clever.
the cat's meow. Or
Clever.
Something like that.
Figure that out and
So
patent
then-
that sucker.
So then you could, like, see what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right.
I think the cat's meow just means I hate you.
No,
Just-
my cat's meow either means I love you so much or I want more food.
I'm not a cat person, so I just assume it means I hate you. But that's just me. I like dogs way better. That's just me personally. But as a veterinarian, you better love all animals.
Yes, I
So
do.
that's why
Like, they
I'm an
ask, "What's
entrepreneur
your-
and you're going to be a veterinarian.
What's your favorite animal? All of the pets.
Sure. Awesome.
That would always be my answer.
Fantastic. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Coming to you from the Sun Prairie Community Studios, underwritten by Banks Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering and receptionist services for small businesses across the country on the web at callsoncall.com, as well as Draw In Customers Business Coaching, offering business coaching services for entrepreneurs in all stages of their business, especially ones that aren't charging enough, on the web at drawincustomers.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur in all of us, available on Amazon and wherever fine books are sold, and just waiting for more reviews. We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guests, Kayla Storlid and Aubrey, talking about selling products on Amazon, as well as Big Brothers Big Sisters. If they wanted to find Card Beanie, where's the best place for them to find it?
You can go on to Amazon and type in CARDBEENIE, and once you buy one, make sure you write a review.
Writing reviews, hugely important. And then Big Brothers Big Sisters, if someone want to sign up or just learn more.
Yeah, they can go to www.bigbrothersbigsisters.com.
Easy enough. Awesome. Thank you guys for being on here. You guys did great. Find us airing on 103.5 Wednesdays at 1 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m., as well as at sunprairie.mediacenter.com. Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night at the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. That's a lot of websites for you guys. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome.
Bye.
And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.